Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else, citizens of the human race and Earth and beyond. Maybe don't want to limit our
Mars.
our audience. Yeah, there might be a Mars colony soon. We never know. But no, this is the Fine Cut podcast where we talk about film, maybe other things, other stuff,
Politics, if it's
politics.
Jeff's. Yeah, it's Jeff speaking.
Yeah. Will this come out before Biden gets sworn in? Who knows? Maybe so. We're recording on the 18th, so 2 days to go. Yeah, we're already getting political, but with me now is Hayden. He's a
Mr. White.
Mr. White. Yes, he's a very good lad.
I don't cook
I
meth
do
though.
recommend him. Oh no, not
I
yet
don't cook
anyway.
meth. Not yet. When I break bad, maybe.
Now, I would recommend Hayden, 10 out of 10. And I'm Jeff. And yeah, so what's on your mind, Hayden?
Well, we've just got news that there's been a Star Wars set built in a village in Buckinghamshire, apparently. The Obi Wan series, I imagine.
Okay. What's that looking like?
I mean, it looks good. A lot of people are, complaining about it in the village, at least.
Why are they complaining?
I don't know, to be honest with you. I don't know. I thought it'd be a great thing, to see Star Wars, a Star Wars set there. I'd be out there with my binoculars looking at everything if it was me. Not in a creepy way, not in a creepy way, for God's sake.
Yeah, it sounded a bit dodgy, yeah, but
Not going after Ewan McGregor.
oh yeah, he's in it, isn't he? As Obi-Wan, obviously.
Yeah. Well, I think the thing that people like about both trilogies, because there's obviously people love the original trilogy, then you've got the prequels that kind of have a very mixed reaction, but everybody seems to like Hugh McGregor as Obi-Wan.
Yeah,
I
that
tend to
positive.
agree with that,
Hmm.
and I'm excited to see him in it, to be honest.
Mm.
I'm excited to see, what he brings. To be honest with you, when I found out it was a TV series, instead of a film, I was a bit let down. Like I wanted to see like that gritty kind of, Obi-Wan spin-off, but TV might be better for it,
Mm.
more airtime,
More seasons, maybe.
more seasons. Yeah, maybe.
Or is it just going to be one season?
I don't know. Well, they never really say that, do they? Say it's going to be this many seasons, and it's like, going to be extended.
Lots of people love it. They'll be like, even if they say it one season, right, we're going to give you 2 more seasons, and the writers be like, oh, all right. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. What do you think, Jeff?
Yeah, looking forward to it. As long as everyone's safe and that.
Hmm.
I'm just curious about what the neighbors think. Are they like, oh yeah, there's too much noise, people filming, like blah blah
Obi-Wan,
blah,
a Star Wars story or something like that.
or is it because they're like, well, we have to, well, they're isolating on that, and they're like, and then I'll go and film like blah blah blah. Do people moan just for the sake of moaning?
Oh, I don't know. I prefer them to concentrate on the TV series, really, at the minute. They seem to be much stronger with the TV series
Mm.
than the films.
Yeah, at the moment, which yeah, I mean, can't complain as long as you're getting like good content from one end. So
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, and we get to see how Obi-Wan, develops between episode 3 and episode 4. Well, if you consider it episode 4, that is, or just consider it Star Wars, whichever you want to call it.
is there not the concern that it may not be like original? There's not a lot of original stories around there. Like, obviously, within Star Wars, and you could argue that the Mandalorian, yeah, that was original, but they then started to introduce legacy characters. Having a series or a film, which there was precedent about it, being based on like legacy characters like Obi Wan or even Solo, and maybe even Rogue One with like the Death Star and that, but that's more of an event, but similar thing. That
I'm not
having
sure.
things based on legacy characters, not their own thing, does that damage it?
Uh, it depends really how it goes. Really, I mean, I suppose if they make it original and make it good with a lot of material, I don't see how they can go wrong with it.
Hmm.
Maybe we'll see. We know
Yeah.
we'll see if they follow the Mandalorian footsteps, then maybe it's going to be decent at least.
Touch wood.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. You know what other things have we got on the agenda?
Uh, you're talking about upcoming releases.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. There's plenty of stuff coming out. I hope a lot of stuff comes out this year. I mean, some of the films I'm looking forward to, were meant to be released last year but didn't make it. Like A Quiet Place, part two. Like
Mm.
I was looking forward to that. I was a bit, alienated when I found out they were making a sequel, but money talks.
Yeah.
But I want to see what it brings to the table this time. The first one was kind of unique in its, reliance on sound design and stuff like that.
And you being a sound
So
man, you're like, yeah.
yeah, yeah, man. Finally. Although there wasn't that much sound in it, well there was, but you know, it was quite quiet.
Less
They
is
called it a
more,
quiet
isn't it?
place. Yeah,
Remember, I brought a load of prawn crackers to watch that in the cinema. That was not the best
yeah,
option.
yeah, absolutely, man. And they're on about exploring and like expanding on the universe. So I want to see what they do with that. I want to see what they do with it.
The universe is forever expanding.
Yep.
Entropy
Yep.
marches forward. So every single tattoo, be it permanent, well, it's not exactly permanent because entropy, nothing is permanent.
Yeah. What else have we got? No Time to Die. I mean, is it ever going to be released, Jeff? I
Or
mean, is it ever going to be released?
who knows? Like when is it supposed to be coming out now?
Autumn now. I mean,
Which year?
a few days ago they announced it was going to be possibly going to autumn now.
Autumn 2021, 2022, 2023.
2021, apparently.
Do you want to hold your breath on that?
Yeah, well, UK cinemas are shut. That's the thing, though.
Mm.
Like, this is what I've been saying to people. It's all right you saying that you can stream it at home, but they're not. The studios aren't going to make their money back on streaming alone, which is why they need cinemas, and cinemas need them as well,
Mm.
obviously for it. If cinemas are gone, the whole industry changes pretty much. If you think about it, we might stop seeing a lot of high budget stuff.
Mm. So what about like Cineworld? That's gone. They just
Yeah,
can't afford it.
they're
They're
shut.
relying on No Time to Die as well. And then when that was pushed back, they were like, right, we can't keep waiting. We're going to file for bankruptcy.
Yeah, I've not seen that, Jeff. What was said there?
It was so when No Time to Die was scheduled for autumn 2020, and then in
Yeah,
like August time, it was said, all right, we're gonna have to push this back now. And Cineworld was like, bruh, nah, we need something because obviously you had your big one, Tenet, but that didn't bring in the masses so much, because of the pandemic. And then they bottled out. MGM and Sony wait, who does that? I think it's Sony now. Yeah, they bottled out. So they're like, well, yeah, Cineworld didn't really work out, did it? And it's been going that way anyway. Like less and less people were going to the cinema anyway.
Well,
This
yeah,
just pushed it a
yeah.
bit over the edge.
I mean, Tenet, was apparently a flop despite it earning 300 million at the box office.
Mm,
And that's a Christopher Nolan film. So obviously, Christopher Nolan's defense for it was that he wanted people to see it in cinemas, which I don't blame him because
yeah.
that's how he wants his films to come out as cinematic films in a way.
So the ethical thing would be, if you want a cinematic film for people to watch in cinema, just wait. Keep
Yeah.
it down. Just wait, and then.
Well, I remember when David Lynch put that video out about iPhones. Have you seen that?
I haven't, no.
Well, basically, he was saying that the proper ways. Well, he kind of did it in a humorous way, I would say. Um, you know, you're not really. He basically said something along the lines of, "You're not really experiencing a film if you're watching it on an iPhone." That's what he kind of said in that.
Okay. What do you think to that?
He is right in a way. I mean, obviously, it's just if you're a casual viewer, then obviously it doesn't bother you. But if you're in for a cinematic experience, like David Lynch's films are made for being on a big screen.
Mm.
Yeah, the same as like Christopher Nolan, they're made to be on the big screen, and that's the way to experience them, isn't it?
Yeah, like the 70mm and the IMAX formats. It's meant to be big, but
Yeah,
and then you watch it on a phone like that. It's just that size or 70-foot screen or however big they are.
well, yeah, and you're not getting the same quality either. Are you really when
Mm.
watching it on there? But I can understand why people watch them on iPads. It's convenient,
Yeah.
especially like with Netflix and stuff on there. It kind of gives them that convenience. Each to their own, I'd say. Really, it's each to their own. But
Mm. Tell you
you know,
what really annoys me about cinemas. Every single time you go there, there's always like that group of like usually kids just like start chatting like you just get that bit of treble that you can't hear what they're saying, but you could just say and so, bro, I'm trying to
oh,
watch this.
I had that. I had that in a quiet place, and it pissed me off to the max, man.
You
Like
just
I'm
want
not
to
even.
throw something at them, or well, probably not that because you get kicked out, but it's just or when people laugh inappropriate times. It's just
Yeah,
a communal experience, but having that experience and I have to share it with people like that. I mean, most times I go to the cinema, you get people like that, which I don't
yeah,
exactly appreciate personally.
yeah, yeah. There's always going to be them guys, which I suppose is the argument for, which is another argument for why people choose to stay home. But
Mm,
you know, we need cinemas. They've been around, you know, years.
yeah,
Been around years. The Great Depression and stuff like that, which maybe people need cinema. At this time.
yeah. Although,
Well, although yes, the health and safety issues,
mm,
kind of hinder it a bit.
which you say about staying at home, people stay at home, you can't go to work, so you just like whip up Netflix and bang. It's the convenience.
Yeah,
Which, on the other hand, obviously Netflix is the one that the example people think of, but you also got Amazon Prime, you got all the others. What about smaller, more niche streaming sites? They've also exploded in the past year.
mm.
And
That's like I don't know Hulu maybe I don't know. Is Hulu one?
that's just thinking more like Tubi or Movie or Shudder. They've grown a lot in the past year, which they have more like niche specialized in indie content, which means that a
Right.
lot of indie creators have had exposure that they wouldn't have normally got.
Yeah.
So you could argue that there is a positive out of like streaming becoming more prevalent, that it's democratizing film, and that smaller indie productions that wouldn't necessarily have the budget to have a wide worldwide release, they can still reach that audience through streaming.
Well, yeah, we've seen quite a bit of that over the years as well
Mm,
with what we call it. I'm trying to remember the name of it now, but I can't remember now.
okay.
But we've seen a lot of indie projects, get a lot of love over the years with the internet, expanding with streaming and stuff like that.
Mm,
But also another positive would be production wise, the crews and cast are now getting reduced hours, which
mm,
is something that unions have been asking for a long, long time.
yeah,
Because like film sets, when you're on a film set, it's they're long days, man. Easily
yeah.
like sometimes 14. I would like recently heard a woman working on a film for like 16 hours straight a day. It's kind of mad, really.
And they're exempt from the working time directive, are they? Or do they opt out, the employees?
I believe they do it on their own back or something like that. Because stuff does it. Because obviously shooting days don't go to plan sometimes, and that's just what happens.
Mm, yeah,
But it's given because I think the major issue with a lot of like if you look at the statistics, a lot of women drop out of the film industry by their 30s.
is that because pregnancy, maternity?
Yeah, stuff like that, like want to start a family because when you're in the film industry, it's really time consuming.
Mm,
Really time consuming. You're not going to have that much time to see, family and friends as you would if you had like a 9 to 5 job, for example.
yeah,
And well, that's because that's what I saw on like the film Facebook groups. That a lot of women, want to have families and stuff like that, but they can't while they're in the industry, so they leave
mm.
to do that.
Or maybe if they have an admin job, they would be more likely to keep on with that.
Well, yeah, well, obviously office jobs and post production. Well, not so much post production because that's still a lot of work, isn't it? Editing and stuff.
Yeah, it's still a male-dominated one, but like producing and
Yeah,
ADing
yeah.
to an extent. And that's not to say that men don't want to go off and start families, but they don't have the biological uh, strain of carrying another life
It,
form
it,
inside of them.
it yeah, it's probably still there as well with men.
Mm.
Like, it's probably still there.
So
In
thinking
fact,
of
in fact, it's probably like more of a pressure for men, isn't it? Really, maybe like
in what way?
they must always be out at work or something like that. I don't know where I'm going with that, to be
No,
honest.
no, I see what you mean there.
Yeah,
But also, aren't they thinking of instead of having maternity or paternity leave, they're just gonna label it as parental leave? Because there's there's a whole thing about no, not so much now because there's legislation against it, but like back in the 80s, there was a prejudice against hiring young women because they're like, oh, yeah, but you're a baby bomb, you're about to go off, and we're gonna have to get someone else, and there was that, but that was also in a climate where it was expected that men just go to work even if like there's a child at home, just blah blah blah. But now, um, society has changed, and men would also would like the option to stay home if they could, and help look after the children. And sometimes the women might not necessarily be able to take all that time off themselves and share it between them.
Yeah,
It just gives that option, and having it as
yeah,
parental leave instead of separate paternal and maternal. I mean,
yeah,
personally, that makes sense.
yeah, yeah. Well, you know, I see a few people because I'm quite, you know, I'm from kind of like an area where there's a lot of very traditional, people that are very, what's the word? I don't know. I don't know the word, but like, I've seen a few people like, you know, blast men for like looking after their kids when the wife's at work, and I'm like, well, at least they're looking after the kid. It's better than, the kid not being looked after at all. I mean, come on.
Mm.
I mean, come on.
And sure, that's like,
I
yeah,
mean,
it's good to.
there's so many kids up for adoption these days. Like,
Mm,
like I'd rather see a dad look after a kid than nobody.
mm.
You know?
And sometimes the mother just can't look at like postnatal depression. If they're
Yeah,
in such a state where they can't, from time to time, look after the children, why not?
yeah,
What's stopping
yeah, absolutely.
the dad from uh, taking up the mantle?
Yeah,
Again, like, but limiting it to, or just labeling it as parental leave just eliminates the whole. Yeah, but you're a man. You should still go to work. You're a woman. Not gonna hire you in case you have
yeah,
children. Subverts that a bit. Probably not gets rid of it, but
yeah.
yeah.
But back to COVID and stuff. But yeah, there is obviously that a positive effect. So maybe that might be something they introduce in the future.
Mm,
Maybe they're like, well, we don't need them here for this long, or we should give them more time to themselves.
oh yeah. I read. I'm not sure if you've read this, but there's a 60-page BFI document on filming during COVID. They keep updating it every like month or so, and there's no strict limit on the amount of people at work. They just say, "Oh yeah, limit it through this, this, and this," and they don't explicitly ban scenes where actors have to be close to each other,
Yeah,
and they allow filming through tiers 1 through 4. So, which I found surprising, to be honest. But hey, trying
yeah.
to get things done, aren't they? Economy. We.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah, and it's keeping people in work,
Mm,
which is, which a lot of people will give Tom Cruise, shit for that shout he did kind
mm,
of a few weeks back. But maybe it wasn't right what his point was right, I think.
mm,
And plus we don't know what was said before that.
yeah.
He was only caught on that moment. He might have said before about it. But
Mm,
the thing is, like, Tom doesn't have to work, okay, because he's a millionaire.
mm.
You know, he's just. I think he really does it to keep people in work. You know,
Yeah, one reason why they
yeah.
wouldn't be there if it weren't for him.
Well, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. You know, other films. Going back to other films, we've got Halloween Kills later on this year.
Oh yeah, has that been
You know,
filmed?
I'm not sure if it's been filmed, but they have. Well, it's meant to be a 2021 release. Just bear in mind that none of these films are, said to come out. They might be cancelled. They might be, postponed. You know, to a later date. We'll see.
Yeah,
But
we're in
yeah,
like wave 2 or 3. right now,
Yeah.
aren't we?
Not sure. I'm not sure what you'd even call it at this point, but yeah, Halloween Kills. I would say this should. I'm hoping it's good. Like, I'm hoping there's gonna be something other than it's made because the last one was successful.
But that's never stopped people before, has it?
Well, no, but I was impressed with Halloween 2018. What did you think, Jeff?
Yeah, well, I kind of like them all, to be honest. I'm not I'm not a fussy eater when it comes to the Halloween films. Even the
You
bad
just
ones
love
I love.
you just love people getting slaughtered on screen, Jeff.
And the music. I don't know, it's iconic and it gets in your ears and you're like, it gets you pumped to,
Yeah.
watch him.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, I was impressed, with it. I mean, it wasn't that original, but it did some newish things, Well, when I say new, they were in Halloween H2O, having Laurie kind of fighting back, like that. But, they undid everything again to like do that film, which I thought was crazy because they already undone everything with Halloween H2O and now they've undone it again.
So they also undone Halloween 2, 1981 version.
Wait, what?
Oh, did they? Yeah, because it was in Halloween 2 that there was the reveal that Myers and Laurie were siblings.
Yeah, that was in two, but yeah, they only did they only followed the first one in 2018
Yeah,
because
so
Laurie
that's
and
all.
Michael are not Laurie and Michael are officially not brother and sister anymore.
Oh no. It's like,
On it,
it's like those franchises that have time travel in it, but instead you just have to draw out like what's canon.
honestly, like I think it's much better now than they got up to Halloween 6, which has some really fucked up shit in it, depending on which cut you watch.
Oh, yeah, we're getting a bit
Right, can you
fussy
can
now.
you remember what happened in Halloween 6, Jeff? I can't remember if it was the producer's cut or the theatrical
I'm
cut.
fuzzy there, to be honest. Is that Revenge or Return of Michael Myers?
Revenge. No, what's the last one called? Return, Revenge, The
Oh,
Curse. The Curse of Michael
yes.
Myers.
Sorry, I'm fuzzy there. I can't recall. Sorry.
Yeah. It was like a reveal, like the old boy reveal.
Oh, incest.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Sorry, that was the mom. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, we that ending and stuff, it was probably for the best that they rewrote it again.
Mm.
But to be fair, they did redo everything in Halloween H2O, then ruined it again with another sequel.
Mm. At least he didn't
So
go to space.
when does he go to space? What, like Jason?
No, at least he didn't go to space like
Oh,
that.
yeah,
No, never
that would.
say never. No, we're in the new space age, aren't we?
No, I don't. I just don't know. I don't want to see that.
Yeah, there'll be a colony on Mars, and oh no, um, Michael Myers is stalking or Jason Bottom or whoever, and yeah, they're gonna.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean, Jason. I mean, it is kind of a guilty pleasure for me, the Jason X film, because it is. It is kind of funny in how bad it is. Like he
yeah.
gives Jason his like this one that I can't remember if it was a security guard or something. Like he gives Jason his machete back, and I'm like, are you fucking for real? I'm like, you've done all this research on this guy, and you know about him, but you just like giving his machete back.
Oh, it's just things like that. You're like, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you know. But hopefully, Halloween Kills delivers.
Touch wood.
Absolutely.
Mm.
We've got Mortal Kombat, which I'm a massive Mortal Kombat fan, so
Oh yeah.
it'll be interesting to see what they do. I just hope it doesn't suck.
Fingers crossed. So the
But
bare minimum, isn't it?
well, this is. I've seen the set films. Well, the set pictures. Sorry, they were released a few days ago, and looks decent. Looks pretty decent. I'm not. Well, we'll see how it goes anyway. There was. I just hope it. You know, follows. I don't know how I'd say this. I just hope it keeps the characters, as they were and stuff like that. You know,
Mm.
because they had those. They had that web series, Mortal Kombat Legacy. They were pretty. It was pretty all right. They were
Mm.
like live action stuff.
Yeah. Trying to think what else has been around.
There's
Matrix 4.
Matrix 4.
That's direct to streaming, isn't it?
I don't know if they're going to do a cinematic release or because
Mm.
I know they're going to do the whole streaming thing with HBO Max, which you can't get in the UK over here, by the way.
Mm. Unless you get a VPN, like not sponsored, by the way.
Sponsored VPN. Yeah, but Sky do have a deal with HBO, so it's possible that it could be on Now TV maybe or something like that. I don't know
Yeah.
what Sky has these days.
Well, if anyone wants to sponsor us, please.
looking for advertisers,
Yeah. Yeah. We can talk about Brexit for days if you want to sponsor that.
Yeah. There's that Manscaped tool out that everybody seems to be sponsoring at the minute.
Oh yeah.
I can Manscape, so it's all good. If you want to sponsor us for that,
Dollar Shave Club.
Yep. Jeff can tell you all about shaving everywhere.
Mm. What else is there? It's NordVPN,
Yeah, we
ExpressVPN.
haven't really talked. So, what about Matrix 4? What do we think, Jeff?
Well, they've been on the main film's been on steady decline. Like they had the original that was like, oh yeah, that's really good. It's a classic in sci-fi and cyberpunk. And you've got Matrix Reloaded, which has some really good moments, but also has some not very good moments. For me, I really like Matrix Reloaded. I like it more than a lot of people, but I understand why people don't like it. And there's Revolutions, which just didn't land for a lot of people.
Yeah,
So I hope it breaks it. It probably won't be as good as the original, but as long as it's better than Reloaded, I consider that a win. Have you seen the
yeah.
Animatrix?
No, I haven't, but I've heard things about it.
Yeah, I would recommend it actually. It's a collection of I think 10 or 12 shorts, which are a lot of them in the style of anime and using that and telling different stories within the Matrix world with a sort of anthology feel to it. Sort of expands the universe a lot as like telling it from the machine's point of view or um, someone who's in the Matrix who discovers some glitches and like how they do it, or the resistance fighters fighting the machines. it broadens the universe and adds a whole lot to it. But having that short form story, so in case one story doesn't land, there's going to be another one, and a lot of them do land. I'd say, would recommend
Yeah,
watching it.
yeah. For me, I love the first Matrix, but the other two they didn't land for me. You know, I think they didn't land for a lot of people. I suppose there wasn't a real expectation behind it at the time. You know, it just didn't live up to it. You know, that
Mm.
that happens a lot. You know,
Yeah.
with different sequels. Although with Matrix 4, it's that there's a load of characters that aren't dead in it that was supposed to be dead. So I want to know how they're gonna, turn that around, kind of thing.
Force ghost type thing.
Yeah, maybe so. But yeah, and Keanu, it's a perfect time because Keanu Reeves is, pretty hot off his John Wick films, and him in general. He's become a very popular guy over the past few years.
Yeah, very much an action man.
Yeah,
Does his own
yeah,
stunts.
yeah. I don't know if he does actually. Does he? I think he does motorcycle stunts because he rides a motorcycle.
Yeah, I
Because
think
I
he
know,
does. He does.
yeah, because I remember watching an interview with him, and he had to have teeth replaced because of motorcycle accidents he had and stuff like that. Speaking of which, as well, Liam Neeson says he's retiring from action films.
At the age of 58.
Yep. Well, I thought he was older than that.
68. Is he?
Yeah, he must be. I imagine he's that age. Yeah.
Wow. So he did Taken at the age of 56. Hmm.
I
And then
don't
the
know.
sequels.
I'm up. I can't. Yeah, Liam Neeson's done well, really.
Hmm.
I mean, he was kind of this underground actor for a while, and now he's suddenly become huge.
Yeah. Well, Schindler's List. He was in.
Oh yeah, he was in Schindler's List. Les Miserables, the old Les Miserables. He was in that, I believe. What else was he in? He was in Narnia.
Oh, The
Narnia and
Voice.
stuff.
Star Wars. Phantom Menace.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't really reckon much to Qui-Gon Jinn as a character, but
He was still in it.
yeah, he was. Yeah.
Yeah. See how much of his IMDb we can recite off memory.
Oh
He was
no,
in the last Dirty Harry film, the Deadpool.
wait, what?
He was in the last Dirty Harry film called The Deadpool.
Was he?
Mm. Obviously, when I was younger, that came out in 1988.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
He's
Dirty
gonna
Harry. Oh yeah.
he'll most definitely be remembered for the action stuff. I mean, you can kind of see it's kind of a road that Keanu Reeves is going down the way. He's younger. I think he's in his 50s, isn't he? He's younger than
Yeah, it
Liam
must be.
Neeson was, but he's going down that same kind of road of like an older like action star.
Yeah. Anyone else do you think has gone down? Well, obviously you've got the your Stallones, your Schwarzeneggers, your Willises, who have always been in action but have grown older but have still been in it. Anyone contemporary nowadays, do you think? Aside from Reeves?
I don't know. That's like a completely different era,
Oh yeah. But like
completely
this
different era.
this
I
generation.
suppose you could say Reeves, Neeson, The Rock.
Oh, The Rock, yeah.
The Rock,
Yeah, yeah.
he's kind of like, the steroid man.
Mm. Yeah, sort of person that everyone likes, but even if they don't like the films he's in, they still like him.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. he's worth a lot of money now, isn't he? I think he bought, Vince McMahon, was his boss, and I think it was last year he bought Vince McMahon's American Football League off him for like
Okay.
a lot of money.
Hmm.
But all power to The Rock. He's like I've read about his story, and he grew up he didn't have much money or anything like that. When he first started out. So all power to him.
Oh, I had a bit of a double take. One of his first on-screen credits was in Star Trek Voyager.
Wait, is this The Rock?
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know that.
but back in like I think 1999.
Hmm.
But he was like a wrestler wrestling against Seven of Nine, and he was still mainly known for being a wrestler. So that was one of his jumping off into acting. Just glue
Yeah.
something to your forehead. There you go. Bob's your uncle.
I
And they
mean,
did his eyebrow thing in the episode, which was like,
obviously got to have that reference in there. I
yeah,
mean, I think his career started quite slow in terms of acting. He didn't have. I mean, he had the Scorpion King, the Tooth Fairy, but then he got on like the Fast and Furious, films, and I think that's where his career started to really take off. Because a lot of people kind of credit him for making the Fast and Furious like series more refreshing. Well, actually, that's not fair because it's the writers and stuff like that. But him being there and like his personalities, lifted up the films a bit.
oh yeah.
Kind of thing. And then
And people get to
yes,
see the actors, don't they?
yeah. In fact, The Rock could be a Terminator. To be honest with you, I think he could honestly like
Yeah.
pull off a Terminator, like not like Arnold Terminator, but like his own kind of style.
Yeah, so like you got your T800, your T1000, he can be a T 1200 or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, what was the last film called? What was the last Terminator film called? Into the Darkness or something like that. No, that's Star Trek.
Dark World?
No,
Was it?
I'm
No.
gonna
No,
I'm
that's
gonna have
Thor.
now. I'm gonna have a
Oh,
look at this now because
we should know that. We should know this.
yes,
We should
I'm
be
gonna have a look at
disappointed
this.
in ourselves.
I'm very disappointed in myself. Dark Fate. That's what it's called. Dark
Oh,
Fate.
hey,
Dark
close.
Fate's what it's called. Dark
Dark
Fate. Yeah.
Fate.
So yeah. Well, he can do better than anything Dark Fate had.
Who's the Terminator in that?
There's I can't remember the woman's name. Like we can't remember
Something
a lot of people's
Mackenzie.
name. Yeah, Mackenzie. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and then they brought back Linda Hamilton as well.
Mm.
Oh, that film still grinds my gears a bit. If I'm being totally honest with you.
I never saw it. I saw reviews and just like pass. Sorry.
Yeah, it's just the fact that they just I don't know killing off John Connor. What was that all about? Why? God,
Oh,
why?
this is the new Terminator film. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, we're going to kill John Connor off in the first few minutes. The character that was a big protagonist and like somebody for people to root for. Just kill him off. That's it. I mean, why the fuck would they do that? And then the fucking explanation for it's. Oh, I'm getting a bit too R-rated there.
No. You
I'm getting a bit too R-rated here.
expressing your views.
Yeah, but
Why not?
and then they have suddenly a Terminator can have feelings and stuff like that. I'm like, where did this come from?
Yeah.
Like he goes off and has his own family and stuff like that. It just doesn't make any sense. You look at
Biologically,
the
would that
previous.
work? Because I know they have external tissue, but do Terminator's sex organs work the same way as humans do? Again, and
I
then
don't know.
it's a question, which like they have
Oh,
running blood, like a proper circulatory system because they need oxygen to sustain the tissue, blah blah blah. But
well, it's
the
not.
gametes from the sex organs, the gonads, like do they work?
I, I, I don't know. What would it even look like? Would it be like? Well, I imagine it would be like humans, but
And what about for maybe for men, but for women? Like, do women Terminators menstruate?
do they terminate the? Do they terminate like the dicks of their of the people? I guess that they're having sex with. I don't know. But here's the thing, though, right? It's not so much about the fact that he. I don't. He has a kid in the film, doesn't he? If I remember, or something like that. But it's not so much that, it's just the fact that all of a sudden he's got all these attachments and like feelings and stuff like that, and I'm just like, where did this all come from? Like all of a sudden they like made a Terminator that can do all that after it just killed John Connor.
Yeah. I mean, not to say that's the thing that they wouldn't be able to explore. Oh,
Bless you,
thank you. So, not
bless
saying it's a
you.
thing that they couldn't be able to, that they couldn't explore, they wouldn't be able to explore, but it's the way of doing it, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, man. You know, absolutely.
Hmm.
But anyways, where were we? We got lost track here.
Yeah, it went from, uh, well,
The
yeah,
Rock to the Terminator.
yeah.
But
Do
but yeah,
Terminators menstruate?
but yeah, I think Rock could be a really good Terminator
Yeah, yeah. No, I agree there. He could. Uh,
in his own kind of way. But
yeah. What about, other action stars who disappeared? Like, do you remember Jai Courtney?
oh yeah, yeah.
What's he
Well,
doing now?
I'm not sure. He was Die Hard, wasn't it? Die
Yeah,
Hard,
Good Day to Die Hard,
Good Day to Die Hard.
Terminator Genesis, and
Yeah,
Suicide Squad.
yeah.
But what's he done
Uh,
since?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what he really does. To be
Hmm.
honest, he's. I don't know. He's had a few bad roles, hasn't he? Really, and
Yeah,
hasn't really won people over with what he's done.
Sam Worthington.
Well, he's supposed to be in Avatar too, whenever that comes out in like 30 years' time.
Yeah, it's just amazing to think that he's the star of, at the time, the biggest grossing film of all time, but he's not doing that big, high-profile things. He mainly does like um, series and films for Netflix, doesn't he?
Yeah, I haven't seen much of what he's been in recently, to be honest. But
Sorry. I saw
we'll see.
Manhunt Unabomber. He was in that.
Yeah,
That was pretty interesting.
yeah. No, I did actually like his character in Avatar.
Mm.
Look, Avatar. I don't know. I think Avatar gets more of a mixed reaction these days. Don't you think?
What, for being generic and yeah.
Yeah, being Dances with Wolves,
Mm.
you know, on a different planet. But I still think it's an enjoyable film, and it's not. I know it's not the first time the story's been told, but it's not well. The story's been told many times, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Dances with Wolves, Last Samurai. It's. But you could argue that with a lot of films,
Mm.
really.
No, I completely agree there.
It's like Seven Samurais and the Magnificent Seven.
Mm. Oh. What TV series coming out soon?
Lord of the Rings, whenever that comes out.
Oh yeah.
Albeit it's meant, well, what I've heard from reports is it's meant to be set years before Lord of the Rings, which I give them points for originality, I guess.
Is it based on any of Tolkien's work?
Tolkien's got loads of like lore out there, hasn't he? So
Hmm.
it's possible it could be based on one of them.
Yeah.
It's possible. I wonder if they're gonna go into like Lord of the Rings with the series.
With Tolkien's work, wasn't he supposed to? It wasn't his intention to have it set well before modern day, or well before like the Egyptians and the Romans. That's
Yeah.
and the more things
Yeah.
come along, the more mundane things tend to be. Like legends of before tend to be a lot more extravagant than now, and as things go on, it's like less extravagant, less big, and then you get to present day, and it's like there's
Have
a
you
Tesco down the road, and that's
watched the
it.
Tolkien film?
About Tolkien himself,
Yes.
have not no.
Oh, you'd see it. It's pretty good, I think. It's got what's his name? Nicholas Holt in it.
Oh, okay. Rings a bell.
I think it's Nicholas Holt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, Nicholas Holt's in it. Nicholas Holt, X-Men. Have you?
Oh yeah, I'm
He's an
actually
X-Men.
Road.
Yeah. But yeah, I quite like that film. But yeah, what else have we got? We got the Spider-Man universes collide again.
Yeah.
We head into the Spider-Verse, which did it first. Now Marvel are going to do it. Well, I know it's all Marvel, but there's Sony and Marvel, so we're going to see Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, and Tom Holland, collide together. That's what's being reported at the minute.
Mm.
What was your favourite one, Jeff, of the
Favorite.
Spider-Man films?
It's gonna sound like sacrilege, but I've never really been a fan.
God damn it, Jeff! What is wrong with
Sorry.
you? God
I've
damn
never
it,
been a
Jeff!
fan of superhero films.
Oh, Jeff.
Sorry. Except for The
To be,
Incredibles, I love that.
yeah, Incredibles 2,
Oh yeah.
Incredibles, yeah, but yeah, they're gonna collide, together, and we'll see what happens from there. It's gonna be interesting.
Mm.
So, what was your favorite favorite thing from last year, Jeff? That was released, although there wasn't much released.
Oh, favorite thing from last year. So, 1917 or Tenet.
I suppose, was 1917 released last year? Well, the year before that, or was that in the US?
Don't know, to be honest. I thought it was released last year, early last year, like January, but could be wrong.
Facts checker.
Look at it now, or
Yes.
are you doing it as well? Draw the sword. Who's the first one? But yeah,
December
like,
4th. December
oh,
4th.
okay. So I'll have to say Tenet then.
Yeah.
That's the only film that really came out this year.
I've still got to rewatch that film because there's a lot of stuff in there that I've missed.
Do you want to borrow it on Blu-ray?
Well, have you got it?
Yeah.
I don't know how you'd send it to me, Jeff, unless you got a droid or something.
Yeah, drone.
drone, droid, drone. Want to send it by post, first class. You know.
Unless, like, I don't know, in the next month or so, we'd be able to reunite. And
Yeah. So where do you stand on Tenet now? Then you've seen it. Have you seen it a second time?
I still really like it. I know a lot of people don't. It's like, oh yeah, it's too complex. It's trying to be too complex for its own good. But really like films personally that um that the film is ahead of you instead of the other
Yeah.
way around. Like oftentimes with films, you can predict where things are going beat by beat. Just say, oh yeah, this is setting up for this. But something like that, you're like, okay, and you're constantly thinking about what's going to happen, what is happening, what has happened,
Yeah.
and you get lost in it for a bit. But no, really
Yeah.
like it when films do that because that's subversion from the norm,
Yeah.
and never really understood the beginning or the end. The middle bit, I feel like I know what's going on, but probably find out that no, I didn't have a clue and just confused anyway. What about
Yeah.
you? What do you feel?
I think I need to give it a second watch through. I mean, first part and first part was pretty good. Though I think there were like two halves to the film, and I think the second part was, I don't know, stronger maybe than the first
Okay.
part. Yeah, it's it's a very convoluted film, isn't it? Like
Mm.
it's very complex in what it does.
Mm.
But you know, I need to see it for a second time, man, because it's like it's one of those films that like just boings me out. If I
Yeah,
could, if that's even a word, but
what it is now.
it just boings me out, kind of thing. But yeah, it's. I mean, I liked all the actors in the film.
Mm.
Yeah, I noticed that the actress is Princess Diana in The Crown.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
the tall girl, the tall
Mm.
woman, which I was quite surprised how they did it because she's like 6'3" or something
Mm.
like that. So yeah,
And John David Washington is also quite short as well.
yeah, yeah. So yeah,
But then again,
uh,
like height wise, I know that's sort of like a Hollywood thing about, oh yeah, women need to be short, men need to be tall, which again is another thing itself. But does height really matter? Like, does it really matter how tall an actor is? It's like, yeah, but the actress can't be tall because it should be overpowering the men. Like, oh, shut up.
yeah, but
That's my
there's
view.
you've also got to think sometimes they are over exaggerated the heights.
Mm.
When you look on their IMDb pages, sometimes it is a bit over exaggerated what they actually are in
Mm.
terms of height and stuff. But I don't see why height's an issue. You know, I mean, isn't Bruce Willis like 5'10" or something like that? And he never had. I don't know if he is 5'10".
Mm. Oh, in the X Files, Gillian Anderson or Gillian Anderson, she's like 5'7", 5'8" in
Yeah,
real life. But David Duchovny was, well, still is, um, like over 6 feet tall. So when they were doing like two shots of them like walking and talking or that, it was like a big
yeah,
difference, and they kind of wanted to have them more in the same frame. So they
yeah,
had Anderson stand on a apple box half the time.
yeah. Well, that is a reason. I remember they did it in 24 because there was what's his name, the guy who plays Freddy in Scooby Doo, Freddie Prince Jr.
Okay.
Freddie Prince Jr. He Kiefer Sutherland's quite short. I think he's 5'9" or 5'8".
Yeah.
Well, 5'9's average anyway. So Freddie Prince Jr. was 6 foot, I think, something like that.
Oh, he was tall,
And
wasn't he? Yeah.
yeah, And they made him take his shoes off when he was like on screen with Kiefer Sutherland. But
Which
yeah,
season was this in 24?
I can't remember which one it was, but I remember reading about it because he was slagging Kiefer Sutherland off, saying he was unprofessional and stuff.
Oh, okay. Hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot of can't remember. Sorry, guys. A lot of anyways. I've looked at Bruce Willis's thing. It says he's 6 foot. He might be that. I don't know.
Come back to you next week to find
Yeah,
out.
come back to me next week. Yeah, but yeah, I guess they do it to one for camera frames, two, because a lot they like to make films like to make a lot of characters, what things what audiences want to be, kind of thing, aspire to be. That's why they always pick like good looking, people.
The men want to be tall,
Yes.
even though there's not a thing you can do about it except what you were on about earlier about
Oh
surgery.
yeah. So I was reading this article about this guy. He basically reportedly was 5'11". He had surgery on his spine, which apparently they took bones from his legs to make himself taller to 6'1".
From his
That
legs? But wouldn't that make him shorter?
that was reportedly what was said.
Okay.
I mean, I'd rather have my bones in my legs when I get older.
Well,
But
different blokes, different strokes.
but like 2 inches isn't much. I mean, 5'11" is already a decent height.
Yeah.
Is already like considered a decent height. Like average male in the UK is 5'9".
How tall are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm about 6'2".
Oh, I'm 5'8" at a push. I'm a short boy.
Oh, you're about the same height as my dad then,
Okay.
which is
Yeah.
so weird. Which is so weird these days because my dad's short, I'm tall. How did that work?
Your mum?
I think it was my granddad. My granddad used to be over 6 foot.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, he shrank with age. Now,
Yeah, that's a point. If you shrink with age, then the surgery they put in is that'll be undone in like 30 years, wouldn't it? Get his money back.
yeah, yeah. Well,
Mm.
I don't. That's such a risky operation to go through, though, isn't it? Like,
Oh,
so many things can go wrong in that, and the fact you want to risk all that just to get a little bit taller
yeah.
is crazy. But the reason he did it was because he wanted to be. He kind of had something in his head from being a kid, really. He wanted to be like his idols, like Michael Jordan. I'm like, how does that work?
Yeah.
Because Michael Jordan's 6'6".
Yeah, he's a few inches shy of that, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, if I stood next to Michael Jordan, I'd be small.
Yeah, you'd appear
So,
my height. You'd be like me standing next to you.
well, yeah, exactly. So, I mean, each to their own, but I wouldn't be taking that risk, man.
Nah.
I thought it was more of a self-conscious thing. Maybe it is deep down a self-conscious thing of his.
Like you see on, oh, okay, getting into stereotypes, but you know the thing about like dating profiles. No men under 6 foot, please. And it's like,
Yeah,
okay,
well, that's
as a man under 6 foot, I'm like, all right, fine. Well, not shedding any tears, to be honest,
yeah
but
that like that kind of culture needs to change a bit. I think
mm,
it's it's not good because if men go to, well, maybe it's not that, but if men are going to go to them extremes, then
yeah,
it's not a good thing, really. you know. But like, I don't know, being like, there's advantages to being shorter.
Mm.
Like, I don't know. I remembered a few of like people telling me that when you're shorter, you actually build muscle better than if you're taller because you have less like muscle to build
Mm.
than somebody who's tall. So in that way, it can help you.
Okay.
So, but yeah. Anyways, it's like, man, it's not that. I don't think it's that big of a deal, really.
Yeah. No, I agree with you there. It's just like
What's like the average height of a woman? Is it like 5'5" or 5'6"?
5'7". When you say of women, are you talking about adult women or
Adult women,
females?
yeah.
Don't know. Let's consult Google. But no, I agree with you there. It's an average. So why is the average therefore considered a minimum? That doesn't make sense from a statistical point of view.
I'm not sure that's what the average is. Obviously, it varies between countries. Like, I believe the average height for males in like Holland's like 6'1",
5'3"
which is
inches for women, apparently.
all right. So
5'9" for men.
really, it's not that. See, most women are still smaller than men that are 5'10" and stuff like that. So it's not a huge thing, is it really? But I suppose, I don't know, some women just really like it, don't they? Like they like,
Mm.
but maybe that's not what they always want because, there's the whole stereotype of a guy that's like, my height, who's just a complete dick. Is it called a Chad or something like that? Don't be a Chad
Oh,
or
yeah.
don't be a Chad.
Yeah, it's just stereotypes don't work. Because I know you're a lovely person.
Thank you.
Yeah, but if
Well, thank you.
anyone's looking for a man, I
God damn
talk
it,
to this
Jeff.
man right.
God damn it, Jeff. You had to go there.
Oh
Bringing it in my single life, Jeff.
no!
Bringing in my single life.
No. I'm trying to recommend you.
Recommend me, yeah.
Yeah, just like put like a reference on you.
Hmm.
Imagine like if dating profiles had references.
References. I
Like a
mean,
CV or something, but for a
I
dating
mean, I
profile.
think I think there's something on. I think it's on Bumble or that other dating app where you can like say what would a friend say about you, kind of thing.
Hmm.
So that's the closest thing we've got in a minute, I guess.
Like TripAdvisor, but for people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But no, women,
But
men, I mean, we're all just human beings in the end. We have feelings, we have
yeah,
needs, we have
yeah.
hopes and
But
dreams.
I mean, does that? I don't know. It says something about a person when height's such a big issue
Mm.
to them. Is that the kind of person you'd be looking for if that's like
Yeah.
a big issue?
Imagine meeting Mr. Perfect, but he's 5'1".
Well, yeah, yeah,
Uh, or Mrs. Perfect, I don't know, but
yeah,
just in that general thing. And
yeah. Anyways, we got completely off track there with
it's all good
stuff.
though, because just chatting in it.
Just chatting all time, chat shit, get banged. We'll cut it
Thank you,
together.
ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in on this sort of roller coaster ride of a discussion. Talk about film, talk about women, talk about uh, the future.
Everything.
But yeah, thank you. And yes, on this roller coaster ride, hopefully we'll be
We can
doing
talk
loads of
about
stuff,
Boris
many.
Johnson if you want.
I'll save that for another episode. We can't waste all our topics all in one, can we?
Yeah.
Tune in next week where we might talk about Boris Johnson. We might talk about Brexit. And depending on what Trump does, we might be talking about him. So
we should be talking about films, though, really.
Well, it just spices it up, and we talk about politics in film.
Yeah.
There is a film called Brexit, so we could talk about that.
Yeah.
But not this week. Maybe next week. Maybe the week after.
Right.
Maybe we won't talk about it at all, because Brexit has happened and we're out of the EU now.
Yep.
But yeah, stay safe all, and
stay safe.
Tune in next week. Bye-bye. Toodaloo.
Bye.